Hello everybody and welcome back to the second episode of my new series for the Elder Scrolls Online, helping out beginners. Now this video, or this episode rather, we're going to cover crafting. We're not going to sort of delve into the alchemy, enchanting and provisioning side of crafting. I believe that they deserve their own video each. We're going to cover woodworking, clothing and blacksmithing. So let's get stuck straight into it. Okay, now as a newbie to this game, guys, your first thing you're going to say to yourself is, well, where the hell do I find the materials? Materials for crafting are found throughout the worlds. They do change per zone, so as you progress through the game and you level up, so will all your materials and the names for all the materials that you're going to find. So say for example you want to find high iron ore and you're in your very first zone, you're not going to find it there. You actually need to get to the next zone to start finding high iron ore. And a lot of people don't really understand that. They're in the same zone, they want to craft that next level gear because they've hit that next level, maybe 15 or 16 or something, or 20 or whatever, and you can't find that ore. That's because you're still in the same zone, guys, so you need to be progressing. I did explain this in another video, but for example here in Stonefalls, you're going to be finding one type of ore or material. As you go into the second zone, you'll be finding a totally different type once again. It's not the same. You can find bits of both in the same zones as you progress towards the end, but generally speaking, yeah, they do change name and it is completely different. Let's just say, for example, look, as you can see here, guys, I have keen eye on for clothing, so you can see that really easy. But I want to show you guys the ore. Standing here, you can't really see the ore. Now, if I put 1 point, this is a must. If you guys really want to be a crafter, I would always say put 1 point into keen eye. Now, if I want to be a blacksmith, which I'm not, but for blacksmithing, let's just put 1 in keen eye. And automatically, as soon as I start walking, you're going to see that pop up. You see it pop up in the back? All you do is you simply walk up to it and mine it out. Once you mine this out, this is the raw material. So that has turned into a raw material, okay? We'll get into refining in just 1 second. Okay, now that we've mined out some ore, we might as well grab some clothing as well while we're here. Some iron weed, that's representative to my zone. So this is what I need for my level at the moment. Another question might be, well, where can I even find a crafting station? Crafting stations are usually in any main town. So say for example we go to this main town here. Wow. Okay, now here we are in the main town. All you need to do is look for that flame on your map right there. That's where all your crafting is going to be. So we're going to head straight down there, which is the big building just right in front of me. Nice and convenient. As you walk in here, you will notice 3 things. Okay, the blacksmithing station is this little thing here. You've got a clothing station over here. And then you'll have a woodworking station, which usually is found in a different area. And in this area, it's found somewhere else. So we will go to that in just a second. So as you go in, you just push E. I'm not sure what it's on for console for you guys, but this is how you refine. Your very first screen is refining. Now I know for all you newbies this is very daunting and you sort of go, well, what the hell do I need to do? Well, it's pretty simple. So what we just ored out with our axe was a raw material. Now we need to refine that raw material, whether it be for clothing, whether it be wood, it doesn't matter. We need to refine all that material so that we can actually use it to craft something. We can't craft it out of raw ore. So we'll pop it in here and simply just push refine. As you can see, I've got voidstone ingot. I've got 8. Now you may need more than 8 to craft 1 item, so I probably need more than that. Okay, this picture here explains it. Up the top there you can see there's iron ore. Now we are going to mine out the iron ore. We're going to bring it to this station that we just came to. And we're going to have the raw material. Once we refine it, it equals ingots. Now, down to the left there, you can see the metal extraction. Rank 1 improves the chances of extracting blacksmithing ingredients. Now, that usually gives you tempers. Tempers are used, guys, for increasing the quality of your item. I'll explain that in 1 second. And on the top right hand side, like I showed you guys earlier, the keen eye, that is for ore there. It makes all your ores and all your crafting materials in the world have like a smoky effect, so you can see them. Rank 1 there is 20 meters away. So pretty simple. You mine out your ores, cloth, whatever, in the world, come back to refining station, refine it into the materials, and the materials is what you need for making the item that you want to make. Okay, as we move over to the second tab is creation. Now, creation is pretty straightforward, but can be very daunting if you do not know what all this stuff here means. And when I first looked at it, I was like, what the hell? I do not understand this. But as I played the game, I started to understand that it's pretty straightforward, guys. I like to break this up into 3 areas. The simplest is best, and I'd rather talk to everybody like we're all 2 years old and trying to understand this sort of stuff a lot more simpler. Here you can see I've broken up the creation area into 3 separate areas. The very first is the material. That's what we're going to use to create the item. The second is the style. So that is what we want it to actually look like. It's got nothing to do with anything else. It's just purely what you want it to look like. And thirdly is the trait. It's what type of permanent buff we want to apply to the item. So we can apply a permanent buff on that item purely by learning traits. Now, as you can see on this first line here, all your ores are in here, and they do go up as you go up in level. Don't worry about all these as a lobby. As you progress through the levels, you will get to the higher metals, but for now, you're at the very bottom. It will ask you that it needs a certain amount for a certain level. So see, if I put 3 in, I'm making level 1. If I go up to 4, I'm making level 4, and so on and so on. So really, we just need to do 1. And down here is your styles. Now, styles is what you learn from when you find a motif in the world. And you guys probably know what motifs are by now. They're the books that you find that are very, very rare, that make you learn a certain race's style. Now, because, say, for example, I am a Breton, which I'm not, but just say I am, this will automatically be there for me, because I am that race. Now, if I find a motif for, let's say, Khajiit or something, then or Orc, for example, once I learn that motif, this will come available to me. The ones that are blanked out are because I haven't actually found that motif yet, guys. So I cannot craft in that style. I can only craft in the styles that I found motifs for. So it's basically like finding a book and learning the book to learn the style. It's pretty simple. Now, down here are the traits on an item. The traits, like I said, are the buffs that you're going to be putting onto the item. So all you have to do is select the one that you have learned. At the start, you're going to have none here, guys. There'll be none here available because you haven't learnt any. Okay, now the third tab over that you'll come into is deconstruct. This is where I do all my leveling, guys. This is a must. Now, as a lobby, everything you find, I would recommend to deconstruct. So say, for example, up the top there you can see a sword. So we find a sword within the game, we take it to a destruction table, well, to where we are now in the third tab, and destruct it. So destructing items gives a chance at finding trait gems, styling ores, and crafting materials, and also gains a lot of XP. So you can sit there and deconstruct things and gain XP. So I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. So say we want to put in this mold right here. You can deconstruct it. There you go. We found a styling trait, a styling ore, sorry, there, right there. So now that goes into our bank or inventory, and we can later on use that to craft in that style if we have learnt that style. But notice up here where it says 38, I've gained XP just for doing that in this skill line in blacksmithing. So every time I do that, I'm learning something. I'm also getting materials back. I'm getting ores back. That is the main thing. Now, if we quickly go back to the older image, the refining, right here it works exactly the same for deconstruct. That when you deconstruct the metal extraction down the bottom right next to on the right hand side there, those tempers, you can actually take tempers out just from deconstructing items. That's pretty cool. Okay, now we move on to improvement. Improvement is where you can improve all your items in the game. As a lobby, I personally wouldn't improve a lot. Maybe go to fine, but above fine, look, I wouldn't really worry about it because you're leveling so fast, you don't really have time to be using the items that you're going to be upgrading. You're probably just going to be deconstructing them anyway. So I would recommend just building this up. As you can see how many I have. These are the tempers, okay? So basic thing is you put it in, you put an item in. Alright, now it's going to ask you exactly how many you're going to need to get. I don't have enough, as you can see, but I'm going to need, geez, I'm going to need a lot. Because I have nothing in my blacksmithing. So I'm going to need 20 for a 100% chance to take that all the way to legendary. I don't recommend that at all, guys. Do not do that. That is insanely crazy. But that is where you refine. We'll quickly get an image up for you guys. Improvement. There you go. You've got normal, fine, superior, epic, legendary. Improving an item will increase the item's buff and will significantly enhance the item if successfully applied. So there is a chance that if you don't have enough tempers, guys, say it says I want, I don't know, 8 for a 100% chance, and you only put 6 in, and you get an 80% chance, there is a chance that you're going to break that item. So I don't recommend doing that. I always go 100%. If I don't have 100%, I do not upgrade that item. Simple as that. But late game, this is a must. You must increase all your items, your armor. This goes for everything. Remember, guys, this isn't just for blacksmithing. This is for basically all crafting. With woodworking, clothing, and blacksmithing, they all work exactly the same. They are pretty much identical, just different names, guys. Okay, and lastly, we move on to the last tab, which is research. Yes, the one that we all love doing. Now, in research is where you will learn those beautiful little traits I was telling you about before, all the little permanent buffs that you can put on your items, your armor, whatever you want to do. Weapons. So what you need to do, guys, is you need to learn a trait. The way you learn a trait is when you get into this screen. Let's say, for example, we'll go to apparel, scroll through and see if there's anything available. I have nothing available, as you can see. Go to weapon, still nothing available. If there was something available there for me, it would have a 1 here next to the sword. I'd be able to go down to where it was highlighted to say, yep, say defending, that I'm able to research that. I could right click on that, and then simply click research. Now, once I'm researching an item, a timer will click and it will come up. It'll actually come up in here, but for me, I've got an add-on. It shows me down here. I can show you how my add-on works, but for you guys, it'll be up here saying researching 1 item, and it will give you a time limit of what you got left. This image here should help you out. So to learn a trait, you must first research that trait to be able to use it later on. Say, for example, we've got a sword there. It's impenetrable. So we need to click on research tab, go down to impenetrable, right click, and do research that item. It's as simple as that, guys. Okay, guys, I've quickly just wandered off to the woodworking area. Woodworking stations look like that. They've usually found pretty close to where you do all your blacksmithing and clothing. Sometimes they're not in the same area, but just look on the map. Where is it? It looks like a little saw or a drill with a triangle. Just wanted to show you that it is exactly the same. So if I go to refine, it's exactly the same. There's no difference. It's just different names, guys. Refine, there we go. Creation, create. So once again, let's create something just to show you guys. Let's create a restoration staff. There's our sanded maple because we refined our oak. We refined down into sanded maple. We can use that to hit our exact level we need. So let's say we're level 10. Well, we're going to need 7. Let's say we want to do it in a different style. See up top, the styles are changing. They look all different. Okay, let's go. You can do knowledge I have, which makes it easier. It means all the other stuff won't show up. Only the ones that you know how to create. Let's make it in Argonian. And as you can see down there, it says powered. Now it says nothing. That's because I'm putting a trait onto it. The trait's going to give the buff. Increase enchantment charges. Increase weapon and spell critical values by 3%. Let's do that. Craft it. Bang. We've done it. Let's go to deconstruct. Show you guys how to correctly deconstruct. Simply put it in. Push the button. That's it. We're getting all these materials back, styling ores, and a chance to get some improvement items in there as well. Some tempers. So let's go to improvement. Let's take that maple resto stuff that we just used. Let's put that in. And let's improve it. So it's going to take 3 to get it to fine. So 3 to get it to fine. 100%. Click improve. Yes, we want to improve. It's a 100% chance to improve it. It will not fail. It will not break. So now, look at that. We have a fine maple resto staff. If we put that in again, guys, we pop it in again. You just click it here. See, it's on 30%. Now it's on 60. Now it's on 90. Now it's on 100. So it's going to take 4 turpin to get my superior resto staff now. So let's improve. Accept. 100%. Cannot break. Bang. Now I have a resto staff in superior. It is that simple, guys. It's not hard at all. Once again, same thing in research. Exact same, guys. Same thing as before. No difference. Okay, so let's just recap on what I just got. First of all, this is a weapon trait. Weapon traits are used to put on items that you can craft. They are not actually got anything to do with anything else apart from applying to something that you can craft. This will give you the trait. That one there is defending. So if I was to create something that needed defending, well then I would need this here to apply to that so that defending would be active. Otherwise, I just couldn't possibly do it. This here is a style. So this means I can actually craft in the orc style. With this styling material, I must have the orc motif. I must have that learnt. If I don't have the orc motif learnt, I cannot use this. Once I do, then yes, I can use this and I can craft in the orc style. Down here is basic wood. This is for levels for vet 4 to 6. So this is for woodworking. This is sanded. This is not raw. Okay, it's not a log. Raw materials will look like a log for woodworking. Once you sand them down or refine them, I should say, it'll look like planks of wood. Same with iron ingots, guys. They look like a little square ingot instead of like a raw piece of material. Okay, now let's have a quick look before we finish at the passives for your crafting. Now, blacksmithing, clothing, and woodworking passives are pretty much identical. The names just changed. The very first one, guys, is going to allow you to craft certain tiers of materials. So when you're a lobby, you're going to be down to say 1. This goes all the way up to 9. So as you progress through the game, you're going to need to put points into this, all the ways that you guys can craft the high-end gear. If you're finding that you can't craft a certain level of gear, it's probably because you don't have anything in tailoring. Keen eye, I think 1 is enough, but as you progress and you really want to be finding things from, say, 40 meters away, which is what that is, you can stick 3 points in. But for now, guys, 1 is fine in there. Outfit or highlight. Now, this is a must. Put 1 point in here, guys. For now, it will give you every 12 hours, I believe, or longer. I'm not sure if it's shorter for one point, but you'll be receiving in the mail, which looks something like this. Right here, you'll receive something like this in the mail every single day. You'll get on and you'll get some ores, styling ores, materials. Sometimes you get tempering alloys, all sorts of great stuff, guys. So that is a must, in my opinion. Moving back into where we were, clothing. Maximize the chances of extracting clothing ingredients. That is a must. All of these are a must, guys, but for early days, you really want to be having keen eye and get these up to the correct level and put one point into hiling. Reduce research times. This is great, guys, when you are researching 3 items at once. This will reduce all the way down to 20%. Greatly increase the chances of improving items. This also is awesome for a high-end crafter. This means that when you are actually improving your items with tannins, you don't need to use as many. Say, for example, I was using 20 before. You saw me using 20 tempering alloys, which would cost me an absolute fortune. I'd probably only need to use 8 to get to where I want to get to. Now, as for the rest, guys, provisioning, enchanting, and alchemy, I believe they really need their own video. Alchemy, maybe not so much. It's not that different from all the others, but definitely provisioning is a lot more to it. Enchanting, it's completely different once again. But alchemy, I'll show you one quick little image there, guys. As you can see, I have had a few questions about finding all your solvents. Once again, it's the exact same as finding your materials. They level, guys, and they level with you, and the names will change. So as you go through your zones, that's where you find that next tier of solvents. So if you're using natural water and you're sitting there going, shit, I'm a level 9, and now I'm a level 10, God, where do I get clear water? It's probably zoned off. So say, for example, pristine water. You're probably not going to find pristine water until you hit your second zone. And you might be in your first zone, you're looking everywhere for it and you can't find it. That's why, guys, because you need to hit that second zone before you can actually find that pristine water. And make sure you do have solvent level 2 in there, guys, because otherwise you won't be able to use it anyway. As you can see on the right hand side, it's got your levels, the points that you need to put in. And as it goes up further down, you got purified water, veteran 1. So you need to be a veteran 1 level 50 to even access that. So that's sort of showing you where you got to be. Well, that's about it, guys, for crafting. I tried to keep it as simple as I could. It can be very daunting when you very first get the game. You have no idea what's going on. But keep it simple. Remember that all materials do level with you, and they do change names. So it can be confusing as to where to find certain things. You may be leveling and staying in the same zone, so therefore you can't find the materials that you need. Just remember, you need to get to that next zone. One more tip, guys, is personally me, the way I play is I always try to go either clothing, woodworking, or blacksmithing. I do not go all three. I believe that is more late game. When you very first start off, you should try to hit either clothing or blacksmithing or woodworking. I would go, obviously, by the way I'm playing. If I'm a mage, I'd be going clothing. If I am a tank, I would be going for blacksmithing. Okay, guys, well, that's pretty much it. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button and be sure to stay tuned for episode 3, which should be coming out next week. So peace out, guys.